Hey guys, Coach Rosholt here, defensive coordinator at Legend High School in Parker, Colorado. Here to talk to you about the 3-3 defense. Specifically, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to utilize our base personnel to give it a 2-high and a 3-high safety look. With the evolving game and spread teams that we face a lot, having the flexibility to go from 1 safety to 2 safety to 3 safety without changing our personnel is very, very beneficial to us, to allow us more creativity and more flexibility to do what we need to do in order to stop these teams. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in a football family in Wisconsin. Dad was a college football player and high school football coach. Brother was a college football player. Brother is 8 years older than me. So being so much younger, I was on the sidelines all the time. I was a ball boy. I was around football all the time. That's truly what ignited my passion for football. Continued to play football, hockey, baseball into high school. Chose to play college football. Went to University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where my dream of coaching really kind of magnified. It really got a lot larger. It really became a goal now. And part of that was because I was a specialist. I was a punter. I was a 4-year starter at Whitewater. And we would practice for about the first half hour. And then we have a little time for skill work and fundamental stuff. And then the rest of practice, we kind of just entertained ourselves. And so what I did is I snapped footballs for our quarterbacks during 7-on-7. I held pads for our D-line coach. I tried to get it as involved as possible. And what I didn't know at the time was how much information I was going to retain from those guys. And that same staff at Whitewater when I was there went to Buffalo, and now they actually just got hired at Kansas this year. So it's pretty neat to have been a part of such an amazing coaching staff. And a lot of things I do today are things I learned from them. So at my time at Whitewater, we were 3-time national champs. We went 58-2 in my 4 years. Had the blessing to get an offer, or not an offer, but an invite to rookie mini camp for the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, I didn't make the team after camp, didn't get invited to training camp, so that's when my coaching and teaching career started. Coached for 6 years in the state of Wisconsin, the last 4 being defensive coordinator, and now been out at Legend High School in Parker for this is going to be year 4, the last 2 being defensive coordinator. This is going into year 3 as defensive coordinator here at Legend. A little bit about Legend. We're in Parker, Colorado. 5A classification, so that's the largest in the state of Colorado. We're at 2,200 enrollment. Schools we face are right around there, some bigger, some a little smaller, but we're right around there. It's a relatively new school, built in 2008, so there was a culture that had to be established and a culture that needed to be created, and I'm on the tail end of that. But I was able to see it for a little bit of time and see that change in our school and in our mindset and in our athletes has been pretty neat. We play a 10-game regular season, 5 non-conference, 5 conference games, and we're allowed some contact in the spring and summer to be with our athletes, following certain guidelines and rules. Obviously, we're not full contact all summer or anything like that, but we're able to see our kids and interact with them a little bit. So a little bit about me, a little bit about Legend. Game plan for this video, okay? Going to talk about our defensive stats, philosophies, goals, kind of our base alignment so you understand kind of position responsibilities, and then we're going to dive into coverages. Okay, well, I'll show you all our base coverages with a single high safety. Then we're going to dive into our bump alignment, which is a 2-high safety look. Then we're going to get into our 3-high safety look, and then all the coverages that you can run out of all of them, or at least that we run out of all of them. Okay, defensive statistics, 2018, my first year here. We were a 4-3 cover 2 school. That's what our head coach ran forever. We were 5-6, 26 points again, 6 turnovers, 8 sacks, just over 150 yards rushing a game we gave up, and over 200 yards passing. After that season, based on our personnel, based on what our head coach wanted, he wanted to go to the odd front. Okay, so that was my specialty coming over from Wisconsin. That's what the defense I ran in Wisconsin. We ran a 3-4. But we wanted to transition into a 3-3 stack. So did a bunch of research, a bunch of clinics, combined stuff with my 3-4 knowledge, and really put together something that we thought was going to be very beneficial for our school. So we put that in 2019. Okay, we went 9-2 that season, 14 points again, so a big drop off there. Up to 21 turnovers from 6, up to 12 sacks from 8. Almost got under 100 yards rushing against at 105, and we were under 200 yards passing. Then we get to 2020, our COVID season. We went to a 6-game regular season. Only 8 make playoffs opposed to 24 in 2019. So only 8 made playoffs. We were one of the 8. We finished 6-0, won our first playoff game. So we were in the Final Four and then lost to a very good Valor Christian team in playoffs in the Final Four. Okay, but we dropped the points against again. increased turnovers and sacks, not compared to 2019, but compared to per game basis, since we only played 8 games here, opposed to, our 12 over there, or excuse me, our 11 over there. So we played in less games, but had almost the same amount of turnovers and sacks. Under 100 yards rushing, which is a huge stat for us. And then the big drop off was in passing. We got below 155 this year, so that was pretty good for us. So we're trending in the right direction. This was kind of we established what we wanted. This was, we built off it. Now we're going to just continue building. We're never going to stop, okay? Once you stop learning, once you stop adapting, that's when you start losing. So we're never going to stop. We're going to keep moving forward. Our philosophy of the 3-3, it's a personnel fit, okay? We chose the 3-3 because it fit who we were as a school and it fit who we were going to be going up against, okay? We didn't have a lot of big guys, okay? A school of 2,200, you would assume you'd get a lot of big guys. We don't, okay? But we have a lot of athletic linebackers, safety, DB type builds. That fits our 3-3 better, okay? That fits what we are. That fits our community better. We're never going to be a school that has a ton of big guys, so we're going to fit what we got, okay? We're going to do the most with what we got, and we're going to coach those kids up, okay? It also fits who we're playing. We see a lot of spread teams, but we do see double wing team, okay? We see some different offenses. The 3-3 gives us the flexibility to face all of them, okay? So that's another benefit of it. Simplicity, okay? It's simplistic. This defense can be very complicated from a coaching standpoint, but we simplify it for the kids, okay? Because we want them to be aggressive, okay? We want them to play fast, all right? And keeping it simple for these kids, the less thinking that teenagers have to do when they're already thinking about a million things, the less thinking on a field, the faster they're going to play, and that's what we want, okay? This defense, the 3-3, is aggressive by nature, right? We're bringing pressure. We're blitzing. We're stunting. We're twisting. We're doing all sorts of things. We're bringing different coverages. We're in 0. We're in cover 3. It's just an aggressive defense by nature by only having 3 at the line of scrimmage and bringing all those backers. So it creates the pressure and puts the pressure on them. Discipline, okay? Like every defensive coordinator has that as a philosophy. We have to be disciplined. We have to know what we're doing, and we have to be really good at it, and we have to execute it. It's one thing to talk it, it's another thing to do it, and we have to have that discipline no matter what the game environment tells us, okay? Fast, okay? This is a fast defense. By having basically 8 skill players on the field, right? Because our linebackers aren't these big, bulky, 220-pound linebackers. We're at, 160, 170, 180, right? I think the biggest linebacker I've coached so far might get close to 200 pounds, okay? But most of them are 160 to 175, 180, okay? And so we need to be fast. We need to use that speed. D-line, we're not necessarily undersized, but we're not bigger than anybody else. We're not bigger than O-line, so we got to be fast up front. And so it's just a fast-paced defense, okay? And then physical, which physical is a byproduct of being an aggressive defense, right? By blitzing, by stunting, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be physical because we're bringing the fight to them, okay? And so that's going to create that physical nature, all right? And then my favorite part is it's a creative defense, okay? And you'll see it here. We're able to get to a 1 high, to a 2 high, to a 3 high safety look without putting new people on the field, without changing anything, okay? All we do is move. All we do is move around with on the field. Super easy to do, but it's allows us to be creative with what we do. Changes our stunts, changes our blitzes, changes our coverages, with everything being the same personnel, with all of it just applying rules for our kids, okay? The other thing it's creative about is being able to put together stunts, blitzes, and coverages every year, or change them or fix them to continue to evolve our defense as offenses evolve, okay? I try to reach out to our OC. I try to reach out to other defenses running 3-3 and say, hey, what play really is killing you? What do you do to prevent it? Okay. Oh, outside zone's killing us. All right, this works. Okay. And that creative part where we can continue to evolve the 3-3 without changing our base rules, responsibilities. That's what's great about this defense, is having that creative. For me, it's fun coming up with these different stunts and blitzes to be able to combat what the offenses are doing. Okay. And then finally, it's fun. The players love it. I love coaching it. The players love blitzing. They love being in man coverage. They love doing what we do. So therefore, their trust and their belief, they buy into what we're doing because they're having fun. Our goals, trust and believe. Players have to trust and believe in us as coaches. They need to trust and believe in what our philosophy is with our defense, and then they need to trust and believe in each other, okay? And that gets established through a variety of different means, building relationships with the players, giving the players the why, right? Kids always ask why. Coach, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Give them the why before so they don't have a reason, and they'll be like, oh, okay, he already knows why. Okay, I'm going to trust and believe this coach, okay, because he's answered my questions before I even ask him, all right? they'll buy in and trust. They also love stats, right? So if you could show them an increase in stats, if you can show them those numbers, they're going to buy in and believe. And you shouldn't have to do that, but those are the kids we teach and coach, right? And so they love numbers, they love stats. Show them those. It's going to help them buy in. It's going to help them believe and trust it, okay? Pursuit to the football. With only 3 down linemen, we have a lot of guys that are running around, okay? So we have to pursue to the football, okay? We need all 11 to pursue to the football. We got to get there. That's what makes this defense work so well, okay? Number 3 is play with relentless intensity. And what I mean by this and what I tell our players is we cannot let our minds affect how we play. We got to stay even-keeled, full intensity all the time, ready to go. Okay, I don't care if we're playing a team that's 0-10 or a team that won the state title the year before. We have to play with that same intensity that we're there to win, and we are going to continue to do that until the coach takes me out. Okay, whether that's at the end of the 4th quarter, whether that's in the 3rd quarter, it doesn't matter. We are going to play at a high level with that relentless intensity the entire time we're out there. Okay, and that's practice reps, that's game reps, that's everything. Okay, we don't take plays off. We don't want to take reps off. We don't want to take any of those off. We got to keep that relentless pursuit and the relentless intensity. Create turnovers and takeaways. Obviously, that's a big goal. We continue to try to increase that every year. Stop on 3rd downs. Okay, a lot of people say first downs is the most important, which it is. It is very important. I think 3rd down is the most important. So we want to get stops on 3rd down, whether it's 3rd and 2, whether it's 3rd and 12, whatever. We want to get stops on 3rd down. Okay, get the ball back to our offense. Okay, we can't usually, unless our offense throws a pick 6, we can't get scored on when we're on the sidelines. Okay, so best defense is one that's on the sideline. All right, so we want to get 3 and outs, give our offense the football, let them go to work. Okay, no big plays. Okay, football game, I tell my players all the time, it is a roller coaster of emotion and using momentum. Okay, it does this. Watch a game, watch a sideline. Sidelines do this. Fans do this, okay? We want to stay right here, okay? We want to stay right here. We want a team that if they're going to score, they got to go a 20-play drive, take 10 minutes off the clock, and kick a field goal, okay? That's how we want a team to score. Because guess what? They're not going to get any excitement from a big play when it's a 20-play drive, all right? We want them to work. Big plays bring excitement. Big plays bring emotion. They bring, that momentum factor to the game. We want to eliminate that from their offense by us not giving up big plays on defense, okay? Nobody in the stands is going to get excited about a 20-play drive, okay? They're just not. Maybe a few dads out there are going to be super jacked up about it, okay? But most people aren't. Sideline's not. Sideline gets jacked for big plays, for big hits. Defensively, we can prevent that momentum swing by not giving up big plays, okay? Next goal, 7, is stop the run, specifically the inside run. Okay, quickest way to the end zone is a straight line right down the middle of the field. We want backs running lateral. We want them running parallel to the line of scrimmage. They're not gaining any yards when they run lateral. Okay, they only gain yards when they start getting vertical. So we want to prevent that for as long as possible to allow our speed, to allow our pursuit to get there. So we got to stop inside run, fast and physical. Okay, that's a staple of most defenses. And then a big one here that we love and we kind of have owned it is a bend but not break mentality, okay? And this is like, let's say a team has a 10-play drive. They're bending us. They get into the red zone. We put our back up against the wall. We prevent a touchdown, okay? Force a field goal at most, okay? We were bending by allowing them to get to the red zone, but we're not going to break. We're not going to give them free points. We're not going to give them the easy route. Okay. And it's awesome because our players have owned that. They love kind of having that chip on their shoulder, that challenge, to the point that our kids will even yell it on the field on a Friday night. Like I can hear my mic yelling it. So it's awesome to hear. They've really owned up to it. And it's worked many, many times for us because you never know what's going to happen on any given play. Okay. For instance, we gave up a 70-yard pass. One of our players didn't quit, chased him down, tackled him at the 1. Most people are going to say, oh, that's a touchdown, right? They're going to score in 4 plays. Like, our defense did not give up, okay? They fought, ended up running back fumbling it on the 1. Our corner picked it up, ran it 99 yards for a touchdown, okay? So you just never know what's going to happen. You never know it could be a bad snap. It could be something else. We could force a turnover. We could get a stop at the 1 and force a field goal, or they go for it on 4th and you just never know unless you give it your all and try. You just let them walk in. You already gave them the answer, okay? So that bend, don't break mentality. And then lastly, be feared. Okay, not feared physically, not feared by big hits, but feared by how we go about our defense. I want offense coordinators to be like, I don't want to play legend. Okay, they're really disciplined, they're really fast, they fly around. We can never get a read on what they're doing. They don't have tendencies. Like we just don't want to play them. That's what I want out of a defense. Okay, so now. Again, simplicity, kind of just real quick. Why the 3-3 is so simplistic is our alignment and assignments, they just give themselves rules, okay? They ask themselves a question. If the answer is no, they go to question 2, and then there it is. There's their answer. If their answer is yes to question 1, then they're done already. So they just ask themselves those 2 questions every single time, and off we go, okay? Our calls, first call is always going to be our formation, okay? What our D-line is in, what our linebackers are in, what our corners and safeties are in terms of alignment. Second call is always going to be stunt and blitz. Third call is going to be the coverage, which we were going to be talking about in this video. And then we have checks and, the flexibility that's involved with it, okay? Checks, we don't get too carried away with checks because checks create miscommunication if we're not all on the same page. But we do need to have checks because, teams will come out in unique formations or have unique plays that they have tendencies on film of showing in certain formations. So we want to have a check to it. But like I tell my defense all the time is when we make checks, all 11 have to hear it. All 11 have to make the check, okay? If all 11 make the wrong check, they're still right because all 11 did it at the same time. So even though they're wrong, they're still right, okay? I know that sounds confusing, but I tell them that all the time, and it's true, okay? If they do something wrong, but all 11 did it wrong together, that's all that matters because they all did the same thing. We can't have one side doing one thing and one side doing something other. Then we're going to have that disconnect. Now we're going to have voids. Now we're going to have some sort of opening in our defense that we don't want. Okay, now kind of diving in. Our base alignment. Corners are on number 1 at 7 yards. Butts to the sideline. Okay, we teach butts to the sideline. I'll explain why when we talk about our cover 3 here. Titan, which is basically our outside backer, our hybrid player, our nickel back, whatever you want to call them. Okay, they're on our number 2s. Will, Mike, and Sam are stacked on our D-line. Free safety, it's balanced, so free safety is going to be balanced right in the middle of the field. Okay, 2 by 2, they're both out. We're going to play in the middle. Now, in terms of technique, we teach our corners butt to the sideline. Okay, so in their alignment, they are going to be butt to the sideline. The reason we do that, couple things. One, we're keying in at the tackle for run pass. We also are going to look there, whether we're in zone or man, because quarterbacks are looking at eyes. If they see us staring at the receiver, they know we're in man. Okay, so we want to keep that simple. But the main reason and the biggest reason we go butt to the sidelines is because when the ball is snapped, we can skate out and we can watch the number 2. Okay, we can see the number 1 out of our periffs, right? We can see them running at us or if they're doing a hitch or whatever they're doing. But now we can see number 2 if 2 runs that corner route. 2 runs a fade. Whatever, we can drop on that now where if we're squared up on that receiver, okay, we can't see as well the number 2. But now I'm here, but to the sideline, I can still see 1 and I can see 2. So it allows me to play my deep third way more effectively, okay? In our base orange, our legend and Titan are flat players. However, they pattern read, okay? They pattern read in our cover 3, which means if 2 presses vertical, we ride that route until we have a threat in the flat, and then we break off it, okay? Because what kills cover 3? 4 verts, right? Here to take the corner, here to play with the safety, here to play with the safety, there to take the corner. Now they make the safety wrong. Quarterback's going to pick 1, okay? Well, now we have our legend and Titan riding that route. Now the quarterback has to hold it longer than he wants to. We're getting pressure before our legend and Titan have to break off and go to the flat. That usually occurs about 15 to 20 yards. Yes, if he runs a now route or a 5-yard hitch or a 5-yard out, yes, he's going to be open. Okay, there's not many offenses in high school football that are going to just throw a 5-yard out all the way down the field. Okay, and if they do, then we just switch to man coverage or we switch to a flat coverage. Okay, but we're giving them this because this isn't going to cause a touchdown. Hitting a vertical by number 2 is going to cause a touchdown. Okay, so that's how we play our base. These 3 are not all dropping into coverage. Okay, one of them is blitzing, if not 2, if not all 3. Okay, so let's say if Will's blitzing, Mike takes Will's zone. Sam's got his hook to curl, okay? Ran a stat on Huddle. The last 2 years, 92% of all passes completed against us were outside the hash marks, okay? So I'm not too concerned with these guys right here. I'm more concerned with hash marks to sidelines, okay? Now, we still got our deep shell. We're not going to get beat deep over the middle, all right? But we have these guys there in case teams want to start attacking. We have that there. We can also switch up our coverage as well. Okay, but that's our base orange, our base kind of teaching fundamentals, techniques to our players. Okay, here's an example of it. All right, we're the team in the orange. You can see already corner, butt to the sideline, corner, butt to the sideline. Free safeties over the top. They're in a 2x2 here. Okay, so you'll see here our base orange coverage. Okay. See how our Titan down here, okay, our outside backer, when we watch this again, you're going to see how he runs with the number 2 because the number 2 runs vertical. So we have to turn and run with him. This guy, our Titan, or excuse me, our legend on the other side, he rides it pretty good too. He could probably stick with it a little bit farther, but he does a decent job at it too. And it forces his quarterback to try to throw it over the top, tries to have him throw it over the top, and our safety's just sitting there. So you can see it here again. He'll ride, 2 goes vertical, so he's pressing. 2 vertical pressing, he tries to throw it. Safety reads shoulders, so our safety's going to backpedal. As soon as quarterback determines with his shoulders, that's when our safety starts to break. Because quarterbacks, I mean, if they're giving it away, they're going to, and then they're going to pop right away. When a quarterback drops straight back and then makes that decision, that's when we break. Okay, so we hold off on all the fake stuff or the looking off the safety stuff. We read shoulders because shoulders are truly going to show you where the quarterback's looking, not his eyes. Okay, here's another example of our base cover 3. Okay, working to those flats. Okay, corner dropping because his butt's to the sideline. All right, if you see this, okay, we'll go through this again. If you see this corner, the beautiful part about him having his butt to the sideline is watch how he's able to see this route, okay? He's still on number 1, but now he can ride number 2. Now the safety comes in and lets that receiver know he can't go free over the middle, okay? But that butt to the sideline makes us so much better at seeing the routes and seeing what's in front of us to allow these kids to play, okay? It also allows us to use our body to wedge the number 1 receiver into the sideline if the one does run vertical and we know we have no threat by the number 2. Now we use our body, box him out, squeeze him, wedge him to the sideline. So that's another benefit of playing butt to the sideline, okay? Next coverage in our base is white, okay? Cover 1. Now, not all 3 of these guys have the running back. I just drew it up that way because whatever guy is not blitzing would have the back. Okay, so if I'm only blitzing Mike, then Sam takes back out if he goes out left. Will would take out back if he comes this way. Okay, if Will's blitzing, then Mike would have back out right. Sam would have back out left. They just communicate that. Okay, back out left, back out right. They just communicate that amongst themselves. But we never have to chase a back across to the other side because we're going to have one of the backers that takes him out back left or back right. Okay. Man on 1, man on 2, man on 1, man on 2, free safeties, free over the top. Okay, so here's an example of it. On 1, on 2, 1 and 2 on the backside, free safety's able to make reads. Okay, now you can see our free safety, his first footwork is always going to be back. He's going to get depth, and then once he sees the routes, now we can break up on it. Okay, now we can break up on that, but that's our man coverage there. Okay. In this situation, it looks like we're bringing here, so he would have back out this way, back out that way. My Mike, who's an experienced player here, he knows that his back didn't come out, so he's actually just going to drop to his zone. He's going to be an added underneath zone player, even though we're in man coverage. Because he had his running back out left, okay, as we're a defense looking at it, okay, and back doesn't come out, he drops to his zone, all right? Here's another example. Okay, we're down here. Defense is down here. Offense is top. Not too many times we get this view. Offensive guys like to take the film view all the time. Okay, but you're going to see we're in cover 1. Safety's dropping, man coverage. Now my Mike's got to back out. Okay, so now he's got to run with his back. Okay, because Sam here, 1-on-1, tight end is covered by our Titan. Sam is blitzing, so that means Mike knows he's got back out left. Will and Legend would communicate back out the other direction. Okay. So watch that again. Sam's blitzing, so Mike's got to take back out left. These guys would have back out right, who's ever not blitzing. Okay. Free safety over the top. So that's our base white. Base black, cover 0. Okay, that's just cover 0. Man on 1, man on 2. Their rules never change. Legend and Titans are always going to have number 2. Corners are always going to have number 1. Okay. Now, free safety's in the ball game. Okay, when free safety's here black or cover 0, they know they got to take a man. So he's going to have running back because it probably means we got a 6-man pressure on up front. Okay, if it was trips, this guy's over here, free safety would come there, and now legend comes in and would take back. Okay, and we'd communicate that through. All right, so here's an example of 0. Okay, now this is against trips, but you can tell we're in 0 because that's my safety right here. Okay, that's my safety on the ground right there, and you can tell it's black because watch how he fires up. Okay, he fires up on his guy here. He's going to be off the screen, and you'll see him because it's black. That's his guy. He sees his guy running that bubble. He pulls the trigger, and he goes. All right, so that's our black coverage. Another example here. Okay, again, we're the orange team, so we're going to be man on, man on, man on here. So that's our safety on the number 3. Corner here. Based on the blitz now, these guys are going to be communicating to the running back. Okay, if this guy's blitzing and this guy's blitzing, Mike would take back out here. Legend would take it back out that way. So they always communicate on the field though. Okay. So our safety's down on number 3. Our Titan's on number 2. All right. Back comes out. Backers take them. Okay. Our legend dropped to actually a deep robber hole, which is something that we run. That's a little change up to our 0. Okay. Now let's get into 2 high safety stuff. Okay. So basically out of our base, we run cover 3, we run cover 1, and we run cover 0. But now we can bump. Bump means our linebackers are going to bump to the boundary. So Titan comes from 2, Titan moves to 3, so they're just bumping. Sam, who was stacked, goes to a guard. Mike, who was stacked, goes to a guard. Will, who was stacked, is our overhang player. So we're bumping to the boundary, and now our legend bumps up to be that safety player. So now we're in a 3-4, 2 high safety look without changing personnel. We just bumped. We just bumped. Okay, bumped over, bumped up. Yellow is how we played it to trips. Okay, so this is one of our. We have a couple ways we play trips. This is just one of them. Okay, this is basically 3 cloud. We're gonna have corner to the flat. We're gonna have Titan hook to curl, but his main job is to take away the vertical by number 3, right? Because if Titan's on number 2, that number 3 is wide open for that quick little hitter. We put the Titan on top, it takes that away. Hitting 2 on a quick hitter is way too difficult of a throw. Nobody does it. Okay, so we're taking that away, and then we're basically playing from number 3 to the hash. That's kind of like our zone. Free safety over the top, legend over the top. Will's got the flat. Corner is deep third over here. And then our backers inside are communicating based on who's not blitzing. Okay. Corner and Will are basically going to bracket number 1 because in trips they like to throw it to the single receiver a lot. So they're bracketing Will underneath, corner over top. So that's our bump yellow, our 3 cloud. That's how we just get into it. Again, we bump to the boundary. Bump to the boundary, bump up. Okay. So here's an example of it. All right. It's going to be to the top of the screen here that we have trips here. There's my corner. Free safeties here. This is my legend. This is my other corner. And then I got my backers. Okay. So you'll see it here. He's going to sit in the flat. He's going to ride the routes until he has a threat. And now we attack the threat. All right. He's got over the top as the free safety. So that number 4 right there. He's this guy. He's that deep third. My legend should be deep middle third. Corner deep third. All right. Will would have flat. My Titan over here is going to be kind of like that, taking away number 3 / hook to curl zone. Okay, so he's trying to get right here to the hash. So he does a pretty good job with his drop. Corner does a great job of coming up. We don't want to fire up right away because we don't want that level 2 ball to get hit behind us. So we play deep, break on the shallow routes. Okay, here's another example. Now we're going to be running it to the left here. So we got trips left, defense is on the bottom. Okay, we got trips left, so we're going to be pressing corners, or the number 1 is on, so we press. Okay, and we're going to be running cloud to that side. Okay, so here's trips on 1, safety on 2, Titan on 3. Okay, and we're working it. They run a little tunnel screen. All right, we do a good job of retracing steps. But again, you can see it. Flat, kind of hook to curl, 3 out, deep, deep, deep on the backside. Okay, so that's the basics of our 3 cloud, or what we call yellow. Here's another look at it. This time it's to the right of our screen here. Okay, so you're going to see he'll be playing the flat. Okay, our Titan over here is that hook to curl to hash. We'll have safety over the top, legend, and so forth. Okay, so he'll be deep third, deep middle third, corners deep third on the backside. All right, so that's our 3 cloud. Bump. Okay, so we're in that 2 high safety look like we talked about. All we did is bump over the backers, bump up the legend, but now we're in black. Okay, so what does black look like? Okay, well, this is against trips. Follow their rules. Corners number 1, free safeties number 2, and bump. Titans number 3, corners on number 1 to this side. Legend would be number 2 on this side in black. Okay, then there is no number 2, so that means it's tailback. So in this situation, we'd probably have a monkey on, which means we'd be bringing the Mike. Okay, if we were bringing the Sam, that's fine. Then Mike and Legend take that back. But right now, what would happen is Mike is probably blitzing. Sam would take back out if he goes this way. Back comes out this way. Now our Legend's going to come up and get him. Because black means we got no safety help over the top. We're cover 0. Okay, so that means Will's probably blitzing. We probably got Mike blitzing. We can bring Mike and Sam. It doesn't matter what combination. Okay, we're going to have a guy on the back. If we're blitzing all 3 of them, now Legend's going to have to cheat his alignment a little bit to get more over the top in case he swings. Here's an example of black. Okay, so we got corner on number 1. My free safety, you can't see. He's going to be on number 2 right here. Okay, our Titan is going to have back out because he doesn't have a number 3 right there. Okay, oh, actually my safety's right here. Sorry, he's right there. Okay, backside we have corner on number 1. Okay, that's going to be my outside backer there. And you'll see kind of what it looks like here. Okay. Black coverage, he reads it, boom, safety jumps it, pick 6, okay? Helps to have a 2-time all-league player at free safety, but you can see it again. We'll run through that again, okay? Watch his read, watch what he's seeing, okay? He sees his guy, boom, off we go, okay? He kind of baits him into it, okay? But that's bump black. The other one, so we got our 3 cloud. We could play regular cover 3 to it. We have black. We also have our cover 4. Okay, we call it bump gold. Okay, but it's our cover 4. Will's got flat, corner, deep quarter, Legend, deep inside quarter, free safety, deep inside corner, deep quarter. Okay, Titan would have flat, Will would have flat. Sam and Mike are hooked to curl. One of them might be blitzing, so then they got to play more of the middle. If both of them are hooked to curl, our main concern is going to be running back and quarterback. Okay, a lot of time we go to bump gold. Cover 4 is when we get into empty. If we see an empty formation, so inside backers are concerned about QB draw. Otherwise, in this situation, if we ran it to trips, okay, their concern is run and QB first, and then we drop to our zone second. Okay, this is kind of more of that. We don't want to get beat deep. Maybe it's before a half. Maybe it's towards the end of the game and we got to lead, whatever the case may be. This is just something we can do to really give us that deep shell. Okay, here's an example of it. Corner, deep quarter. This is my Legend. So this is the guy that's dropping back. Okay, he's going to be deep inside corner, deep inside quarter, corner, deep. So these are my 4 deep guys. This guy's going to work to the flat. My linebacker on the other side will work to the flat. And then the inside 2 guys are playing quarterback run zone. So you can see it. They're communicating. Okay, you can see down and distance, 3rd and 11. All right, we drop out, we fit underneath. Okay, they try to force it over the middle, we take advantage of it. All right, but the nice thing about this, okay, is if you watch these guys, we're pattern reading still. So our eyes are on receivers in our zone. So for us, zone coverage is not we go to a zone and just sit there. Zone coverage for us is we go to a zone, but we play man within the zone. Okay, if there's 2 guys in our zone, we play the deepest threat first. That's just how we operate our zone coverage. Okay, so you can see here, he's a flat player, but you see how much depth he gets. And he gets that because he has no threat in the flat. Okay, watch his 2 receivers. They're running vertical, so he's going to keep running. And now he works out to that kind of corner route or that out route. And so that's how we play. We always want to cover deepest. We're always going to run if everything goes vertical, help our guys out a little bit. Okay, now the fun one that we've added in the last year. Okay, 3 high. All right, with the adaptation, with the changing of offenses and being creative with what they do, we got to continue to change and adapt as a defense. Okay, it's a chess game, right? We're matching. They adjust and adapt. We adjust and adapt, right? So we're going to continue to change. 3 high gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of passing game, with still giving us the ability to fill on run. Okay, how we do it? We line up in our base. All we do is we take our Titan and our Legend, who are on the number 2s, and we drop them back as a safety. So now our safeties are Titan, free safety, and Legend. Okay, so we're just dropping them straight back. Not changing personnel. Not changing anything. Nobody's coming on or off. We just drop those guys back. They're going to play at 10 yards. Okay, everyone else's responsibilities are the exact same. We're just moving Legend and Titan's alignment back to 10 yards. Okay. Now, cover 3, this is what it would look like if we stayed in 3 high, cover 3. What was Legend and Titans' responsibilities in base cover 3? The flats. They're lined up at 10, they get to come flying down to the flat. Lined up at 10, come flying down to the flat. Corners bail just like they normally do, safety bail. Nothing changes. Okay, it's what we do. Now, this is what that looks like. Okay, so to this side, all right, we're going to be in our cover 3, so corner's going to drop back. Okay, our Titan is going to come down, free safety back, our Legend down, our corner back. Okay, so as you see it here, okay, down to the flat, he goes back, okay, on the back side, you'll see it here, we turn and run because they ran wheel, but you can see down to the flat, he runs wheel, he does a good job of turning and running with the wheel, which is what we teach too, but you can see that our Legend and Titan are lined up on the snap, they're coming downhill, okay, because they're going to the flat, all right? Now, we throw in the wrinkle. Now we throw in orange switch, okay? So now they hear switch, just like if you listen to the stunts and blitz video, when we hear switch, it means we're switching responsibilities with somebody, okay? So now we're orange switch. So now Legend's going to switch at the corner, drop to deep third, corner gets to play the flat. Titan drops to deep third, corner comes up and plays the flat, okay? It's awesome. It keeps teams from wanting to hit the flat. It helps against bubble. It helps give the quarterback different look, okay? Now our linemen, our corners can still sit at 7 yards off, but to the sideline. They can make everything look the same, whether they're man, zone, flat, deep, they can make everything look the same. There's also going to be times where we do press this, okay? There are going to be times where corners go up and press. You'll see it on some of our film that we do press it at times. That's going to be a game time thing, right? That's going to be based on our opponent, the plays that they run, things like that. But we are able to press. You'll also see our guys, they'll act like they're pressing and then they'll get into their bail. So, but this is orange switch, okay? So you're going to see it here on this one, okay? Once the play starts over. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, so now you see these guys right here, they're going to drop. Okay? They're dropping, corners are sitting. Corners are sitting there, Legend and Titans are dropping. Okay? Now my Titan over here, my Legend, needs to work on his jump timing a little bit, but you can see it here. Okay? Corner's going to flat, deep, okay? You see here, it's a great job by my linebackers. Okay? Great job by my linebackers by blitzing. He's covering his zone, but watch their depth, okay? And they take their read steps. We don't cheat in 7-on-7, okay? That's the one knock on 7-on-7. We won't cheat our linebackers. I make them take a read step for run because that's realistic to a game. We're not going to just drop to pass. We also blitz somebody because it's 7-on-7. It's not 8-on-7. So we're gonna only drop 7 or 6 or 5 depending on what coverage we're in. But you could see their drop depth on that is pretty good, okay? So we have 3 switch. We have the flexibility of running 2 now, okay? Now we could run cover 2 in our bump. We choose not to. We'll run it out of 3 high a little bit though, but this is kind of like a Tampa 2, okay? How we run it is kind of like a Tampa cover 2. So now, if we were to run cover 2, our Legend and Titans always know that they have the flat, okay? They have the flat in cover 2. They have the flat in orange, cover 3. They have the flat all the time, okay? So 3 high blue is no different. Okay, Legend's coming down the flat, Titan coming down to the flat, corner deep half, free safety now is that deep hole. Okay, that deep hole. He's that robber. He's that deep zone guy. He's the deep hole player. Okay, he's gonna play. I call it recess football. Okay, he's just gonna make a read and he's gonna jump routes. Okay, just like he did back in the day during recess. I don't know if they still have recess, but that's what we tell him. Okay, we just tell him to be a ball hawk, play football. Okay. Sam and Will then are our hook to curl players, okay? Now, these guys obviously would communicate. Somebody's blitzing one of them, so they're going to cover for each other. But that's our cover 2. And then we have blue switch. Blue just means cover 2. So we got blue switch, Legend and corner switching, Titan and corner switching, all right? So, again, just a different look without changing much of anything. Okay, it allows us to be really flexible. It allows teams to think, oh, they're a cover 3 team. Oh, they're a cover 3 team. Well, now we're sitting opposite dudes in the flat. We're moving forward and backwards. It gives us a lot more flexibility. Okay, Legend and Titan, the key to this is they have to read tackle for run and pass because they do need to help on outside runs still. Okay, they're still our contained players, so they still need to be aggressive. So we coach them up big time to key right here first for run pass, and then off we go. So that's blue switch. We have cover 1. out of the three high look. Okay, man on one, man on two, man on one, man on two. They're normal rules. And now free safety's that deep hole player. These three are communicating tailback based on who's not blitzing. Okay, if Mike's blitzing, Sam and Will take back out their direction. Okay, if Sam's blitzing, Mike would have back out this way, Will this way. They communicate that. But that's our white coverage. Okay, so here's a little clip from it. All right, so we're in white, we're manned up in our three high. Okay, so again, you're going to see Titan's over here. I think he has a tight end. Okay, Legend would have, I don't think there's a number 2 in this one. Okay, there's no number 2, so he would take back out. There's no back out, so he just drops to his zone. Okay, we're not going to just waste ourselves. We're going to drop somewhere if our guy stays in the block. All right, so watch that again. Man on here, man on 2, free safety drops, man on 1. Legend and Will aren't blitzing. They're going to just drop. They're going to help out the best they can. Okay, here's another example of it. Okay, we're in the orange now. We're on the top. Okay, so we're man on across the board with the middle safety playing high. So you can see man on there from one of our deep safeties. Okay, and on this other side, okay, you're going to see man on right here from a safety. Man on, there's our deep hole player. Okay, that's our deep zone guy. All right, and we're making plays, breaking. We also have black. Okay, black meaning I want to bring maybe all 3 linebackers. All right, we want to do our 6-man pressures. Now let's get into black. 1 on 2. 1 on 2 always. That's a rule. They already know it. Done. No confusion. Now free safety is going to have back. Okay. If it's 3-by-1, meaning let's say this receiver's over here and we got trips to this side, free safety takes the number 3. That means Titan would then have the running back. So again, communication part to it. Okay. Here's an example of it. Again, we're in orange. Okay, we're going to be on the top of the screen here, but we're in black. So you can see that's my free safety. He's on the number 3. My other safety, the Titan that drops, he's on number 2. Corner's on number 1. Okay, corner, Titan, free safety. Backside is corner. Legend knows he has back. Okay, Legend knows he has back out. Back kind of comes out, so we attack it. But we don't sprint up to it. We want them to throw swing routes. We want them to do that. Swing route is 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. By the time he gets to the line of scrimmage, we're going to meet it. It's a 1-yard gain. We'll take that 3 times. They can punt. Okay? Last coverage we have out of the 3 high look is a cover 5 concept. Okay? This is, again, prevent. This is before a half. This is you got a 2-score lead with a couple minutes left. However you want to use it as a defensive coordinator. Those are just some examples of when I would use it, but this is our red coverage, okay? Now red, we're in prevent, right? Corner's going to be deep, Legend's going to be deep, free safeties deep, Titans deep, corners deep. Sam and Will are going to work to the flats, and more than likely Mike's blitzing, okay? Mike's going to go opposite of nose. We'll have one of our blitzes or stunts on, okay? But this allows us to really have a deep shell and to maximize not getting it beat deep, okay? Now, with all of these 3 high looks, it's critical that your Legend and Titans during practice go with the DBs, okay? So how we do it is I alternate. So right now we're practicing 4 days a week or interacting with our kids 4 days a week. And so what we do is I send 2 a day. So 2 of my Legend Titans go on a Monday, 2 more go on a Tuesday, 2 more go on a Wednesday, 2 more go on a Thursday. We rotate it again the next week, okay? Because they need to get in a little bit different skill work than we'd be doing at linebackers. Because I bring Legend and Titans with me at linebackers, okay? So I have Sam, Mike, and Will, and I have Legend, Titan. They all come with me, all right? Because a lot of our base philosophy is stopping the run, stopping the run, stopping the run. Legend, Titan, a little bit of pass. Now we get into 3 high safety. They need to know more pass. So I start sending them with our DB coach, okay? But that's critical that they get some time in there. It's also critical that a 3 high safety does not mean that you're always expecting pass. You can use 3 high safety against run very, very easily, okay? Think of our orange coverage, right? If I go back some slides here, okay, and we get into our orange, okay, they're coming downhill already, right? They're coming downhill already, Legend and Titan. Okay, so they can be overly aggressive to run. They can inside out it, meaning Legend's reading the tackle. Okay, he's running. He can attack the tackle and then break off to the flat. Okay, because we're making our run read as we're attacking the line of scrimmage. Right now, if it's orange switch, okay, If we're here, now we can't be as aggressive on that. So we might be a little late to the party. So we got to make up for it with speed. Okay, we got to make up for it with speed. But we can stop the run. We still got 6 in the box. Okay, even if they want to line up with a tight end, we still got 6 in the box. If they got a tight end, our Titan would just creep in a little bit. We still got guys in the box. They just might be a little deeper. But we can still stop run, no problem. Okay, as long as Legend and Titan are taught, or your Wolves or your Nickels or whatever you want to call those players, that's completely up to you. But getting them involved by making them read the tackles for run pass. If they read run, let them be aggressive on run. Okay, they read pass, now we got to go. Because if they're getting a run read from the offense, okay, they're probably doing some sort of RPO. It's going to be a shorter throw anyways. Okay, so they're already coming downhill to get that anyways. Okay, most teams aren't going to give you a run read, an RPO, and try to hit a deep pass, right? So get those guys still being aggressive. They're going to be aggressive by nature based on our 3-3 front and their alignment and their responsibilities to begin with. Okay, but now it gives them time to be a little bit more aggressive. Same thing with our cover 2. Be aggressive. They're already coming downhill. Okay. One coaching point in cover 2 switch that we ran into a little bit of issues with is Legend and Titan going straight back and not truly understanding where their zones are, because they are, in our defense, more of a linebacker than they are a DB. So you just got to make sure they understand the angle they need to take on the field. Now, we teach our kids hash marks are their landmarks, okay? So our Legend and Titan are going to try to work to the hash mark, square up, and then find their deepest threat. Okay, but if the ball's on a hash, it just changes how their hips move. It changes how they open up, and so it's, again, just things they need to work on with the DB coach. But we can, as you can see, we can run multiple fronts out of it. Cover 3, cover 2, 3 switch, 2 switch, cover 1, cover 0, and our red as a little prevent. So again, very easy ways to transition from a 1 high safety to bump. Linebackers all bump to the boundary. Legend pops up. Now we're in our 2 high safety look where we can run our 3 cloud. We can run 3. We can run black. Okay. You can run cover 2 out of that with the 2 high safety now look pretty easily. Okay. And then all of a sudden, now we bump 3. Legend, Titan, just bump back. Don't change personnel. We don't have to do anything. I could call 1 play base. I could call 1 play bump, and I could 1 play 3 high, 3 consecutive plays in a row without having to change anything, without having to change rules, responsibilities. And that's the great part about the creativity to the 3-3. So that's all I got for you today for 1 high, 2 high, 3 high safety looks in the 3-3 defense. Contact information is here. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Call, text, email, Twitter, doesn't matter. I'm not saying I have all the answers, because I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly evolving. A quote I live by is, once you stop learning, you start losing. But I'll definitely try to help out in any way I can to answer any questions that you may have. I really appreciate your time, and good luck this season.